Have you ever been pulled over for a DWI in Texas and been asked to blow into a breathalyzer? Do you have to? What are your rights in that situation? If you're ever caught in this scenario, you must know your rights and what can happen next. My name is Joseph Reese, and I'm a criminal defense attorney based in Houston, Texas. I create free videos like this to help people understand their rights when facing serious charges like a DWI. In this video, I'll break down Texas laws surrounding breathalyzer tests, the right you have when you're pulled over for a DWI, and what you need to do if you face a breathalyzer request. If you're stopped for a suspected DWI in Texas, one of the first things you might be asked to do is take a breathalyzer test. But the question is, are you required to blow into that breathalyzer? The breathalyzer is a device that estimates your blood alcohol concentration by analyzing the breath sample. If you've been drinking and are stopped by law enforcement in Texas, this test is often used to determine whether you are over the legal limit for alcohol while driving. But the real question, are you legally required to comply when asked to blow into a breathalyzer? Let's break down the legal aspects of this. In Texas, driving is considered a privilege, not a right. When you get your driver's license, you're agreeing to certain conditions. One of those conditions is something called implied consent. Implied consent means that by choosing to drive on Texas roads, you've automatically agreed to submit to sobriety tests, including a breathalyzer, if a law enforcement officer has reasonable suspicion for a stop and probable cause for DWI. So yes, in Texas, if you're lawfully pulled over and an officer has probable cause that you're driving while intoxicated, you are required to offer a sample, technically. However, that doesn't prevent you from still refusing to do so. If you do, they will try to suspend your driver's license, but we can ask for an ALR hearing to fight that suspension. We win most of those for our clients, so in all likelihood, we'll be able to avoid that suspension for you. So when can an officer request a breathalyzer? Even though Texas has implied consent laws, the officer must have probable cause that you're driving while intoxicated. This could be due to erratic driving, the smell of an alcoholic beverage, or other signs of impairment. If the officer doesn't have reasonable suspicion for a stop or probable cause to arrest for DWI, they can't lawfully ask you to take a breathalyzer. Sometimes you might be asked to take alternate tests such as a blood test or other field sobriety tests if the officer believes it's necessary. If you refuse to take the breathalyzer in Texas, your driver's license will automatically be suspended for a period of 6 months unless we request the ALR hearing. That's got to be requested within 15 days of the date of the arrest. That's right, refusal means immediate consequences, potentially, if no further action is taken on your part to request the hearing. The key point to remember here is that you do have the right to refuse, but you must also understand that refusing comes with certain consequences that hopefully we'd be able to avoid. When you're pulled over for DWI in Texas, you have certain rights. You have the right to refuse a search of your vehicle unless police have probable cause. You always have the right to an attorney. You can contact an attorney before making any statements if you're arrested. If you're ever pulled over for a DWI in Texas, remaining calm and knowing your rights is crucial. Here are a few things to consider. Know the consequences. Understand the legal impact of taking or refusing to take a breathalyzer test. Seek legal advice. If you're unsure what to do, it's always best to contact a criminal defense lawyer who can guide you through the process. Stay informed. Texas DWI laws can be complex, so understanding your rights and obligations before getting behind the wheel. If you or somebody you know has been charged with a DWI or is facing legal issues related to a traffic stop in Texas, I'm here to help. Schedule a consultation with me today and we'll review your case and options. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like to learn more about, leave a comment below or contact my office directly. We're criminal defense attorneys and have your back. That's what we do.